Raw 4 TV.
What up? Oh, damn. I said, what up? What up? What's up? I think I'm Martin Payne or some shit. What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw 4 TV, aka Darth Apocalypse. All right, so this is a video request from Dorian. Shout out to Dorian. Trying to knock out still some of these older video requests. I got a lot of them at one point in time. So I'm still trying to knock out some of the older ones. The video request is, what if Artis Gilmore played with D Rose in the 2000 teens? Well, this, of course, also necessitates another what if, and that is if D Rose didn't get hurt. Because we all know D Rose got hurt in, 2012 playoff game against the Pacers? And he never was the same player afterwards. And I've always maintained, at least on an indirect basis, that a lot of the blame for that goes toward Tom Thibodeau. I remember watching that game, and I remember saying to myself, why is D Rose still out there? But, hey, we don't know what we're talking about here. You know what I'm saying? We didn't play basketball. We don't know what we're talking about. But you look at the Knicks. What had been plaguing the Knicks the last few years when Tom Thibodeau was coaching them? They always got hurt toward the end. Why? Because he played those short rotations. The minute Mike Brown gets there, he spreads the offense out. Guys are playing less minutes. He's playing other guys more, and they're having more vital roles offensively. You don't see all these wear and tear injuries. But that's why I've always had an issue with Mike D'Antoni. Tom Thibodeau. I've always thought he was a great coach, but you playing these guys 40-something minutes a night in this era, and these guys don't train their bodies or ready their bodies to play these amount of games that they did back in the 60s and 70s at that pace, and this is what happens. But anyway, D Rose, if he's healthy and he's playing with a prime Artis Gilmore, then that could have potentially been a championship team. Because we all know that with a healthy D Rose, the Bulls got to, I believe, a conference finals, right? Where they lost 4-1. And they won 60 games. But I believe they lost to the Miami Heat, the Super Soldier Serum Heat team. And if you put Artis Gilmore on that team, Artis Gilmore is a Hall of Fame level player. First ballot Hall of Fame player. Superstar level player, okay? And he would have been the best center in an era which was pretty bereft of any great big man. Like if you go back to 2010, you had Dwight Howard. And that's about it. This is before really the rise of DeMarcus Cousins, if I'm not mistaken. Anthony Davis is more of a power forward, and he didn't come in the league, the center, he didn't come into the league until 2012, 2011. So, yeah, he would have been by far the best big man in the league. And you bring a guy like Artis Gilmore, brute strength, rim protection, rebounding, great defensive player, could score, but he didn't demand the basketball. You know what I'm saying? I could see Derrick Rose driving and dumping and dishing off to him. I also Artis Gilmore was such a prolific scorer to the point where, if you combine his ABA and NBA scoring, I think he's just under 25,000 points. He's dominant enough offensively that he would demand double teams, which would definitely open things up for Derrick Rose. And if you're not mistaken, Jimmy Butler will still be there, right? Then you could have Noah compliment him at power forward. Noah never really developed into a scoring player anyway. So, although it would kind of benefit Chicago more as the league changed. Now I think about it, maybe you get Noah out of there, and you might have to compliment Artis Gilmore as the league was starting to change with a stretch big, maybe some guy that could shoot from outside, um, guy that could play defense, a guy that's a little bit versatile. Um, I'm trying to think of somebody at that time. Maybe Rashard Lewis, but he was with Orlando, I think, at the time. But that's just I'm just speculating at this point in time. The point is, if you combine Derrick Rose athleticism, playmaking ability, scoring ability, and perimeter domination with a guy like Artis Gilmore, who is in many ways the mirror opposite of, or the mirror reflection, I should say, of Derrick Rose in the post, dominant rebounder, shot blocker, rim protector, uh, great post player, bully ball, fits Chicago culture to a T. Hell, he played for Chicago in real life. Yeah, I could see that team definitely contending in multiple Eastern Conference Finals and giving the Miami Heat a run for their money, possibly even beating them. Now that I think about it, they probably would beat them because one of the weaknesses that Miami had, of course, is the center position, and they don't have anybody that can guard Artis Gilmore. You need to slow down Gilmore. Now, the one thing that Gilmore did struggle with at times is pressure. If you pressured him enough, sometimes he could make some bad decisions with the basketball, and he turned the ball over a little bit. Like sometimes, like he didn't have the largest hands, so sometimes he struggled with the same problem that Patrick Ewing would have. Sometimes if you like dumped it off inside the Ewing, sometimes Ewing would like fumble the ball out of bounds, or he'd go up with it and a defender could strip him. Those types of things happen to Artis Gilmore. So that's one of the downsides. And also, Artis could be a little bit inconsistent, a little bit compared to like the other all-time great bigs, but he definitely still would be a superstar. And he would kill Miami's front court, kill him. I mean, I don't see why he doesn't average, even playing with Derrick Rose, why he wouldn't average 29 and 14 and 2.9 blocks, 63% shooting. He was a pretty good free throw shooter for a big man, 70+% for the most part. So, yeah, I think that they would be a great tandem. And you got Jimmy Butler there. You saw Jimmy Butler evolve from being primarily, from what I remember, primarily a defensive player to opening up his offensive repertoire. I remember he was a workhorse back then, the young Jimmy Butler, and to me, he was also a lot less pretentious back then. But yeah, I mean, this is an alternate reality timeline situation, but I don't see why this team wouldn't succeed. Tell you, man, we were really robbed of something tremendous when Derrick Rose got hurt, man. Us Chicago Bulls fans, we still mourn when that shit happened because we knew what was coming. We knew a championship was on the horizon for the Chicago Bulls with Derrick Rose. Once you got past that Miami super soldier serum bullshit, and we got to playing real basketball. Now, mind you, this is also before the rise of, Steph Curry and the Warriors and the three-point explosion. Don't get me wrong, teams were taking more threes even by then, but not to the degree that they do now. So might have to have a little bit of a hybrid situation with the Bulls where, you take advantage of the fact that Artis Gilmore is still such a dominant big man, he's more of a traditional big man. Take advantage of the league where his type of style of basketball is still at its most effective. And I would also add some shooters to this team. But the philosophy has to be going out there hard, working hard, and playing on both ends of the floor. And this is young Artis, although he never really would go, I would say, full throttle like that. But if this was younger ABA Artis Gilmore, hell, you can get some transition buckets with him too. Not the older artists with the Spurs, with the goatee and the Dracula hairline and shit. You got like that big puffed out Afro artist. Yeah. You can get some. You can get some transition buckets with him. That's when he was like 7'2", 240. Later on, he was like 7'2", 270, 265. But that nigga was rock muscle, bro. I remember hearing a story about Artis Gilmore, and who was it? I can't remember who it was. It was somebody from the Steelers. See if I can find the story. Because I used to hear some crazy strength stories about Gilmore too. I mean, Wilt was the number one guy, but Artis Gilmore quite possibly is the second strongest player in the NBA history. I can't remember what it was. He picked up some guy by his collar. Yeah. It was a Pittsburgh player, a Pittsburgh Steelers player. He picked up by the jersey, supposed off the ground. Yeah, but anyway, that's pretty much what I think about the situation. What you guys think?